Hi, I'm Jim Gordon.
And I'm Lita Leapins.
And welcome to another edition of Our City Tonight.
Well, we're out in Surrey. We haven't been here for a long time.
5 years.
5 years. Oh my gosh, we're happy to be out here and we're exploring a new restaurant.
That's right. Which one? You'll find out next. Well, for the first time in, Lita, I think about 4 or 5 years, we are out in Surrey. Good to be back here again at a great spot called the Sky Avenue Kitchen and Lounge. And joining us once again as we go to the Master 3-Shot, old friend of ours who I believe 6th time, Richard Goodine, our restaurant ambassador, has been on our show. Richard, a whole bunch of places that you have introduced us and our viewers to. Now you've got a new spot you want our viewers to check out here in Surrey.
Well, it's always a pleasure to be with the two of you. You know
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
6 times.
You know
Wow.
you win a blazer at that point.
Well,
after
I'm
6.
waiting. I thought it was at 10, but we'll figure it out.
Well, we'll give you one anyways.
That's right.
Now, Richard, this is an amazing place because this has the largest whiskey collection in North America. Can you tell us a little bit about how that came about?
Well, it actually sort of led to the inspiration of what they did here. They started from getting this incredible whiskey collection, and that's how they came up with the name the Isle of Skye, one of the most famous regions in Scotland. But it also gave them lots of opportunity with American whiskey and Japanese whiskey and Canadian whiskey to develop a food program that was based on modern Canadian cuisine, which is really a mosaic of cuisines.
Right. Boy, lots to get through here. Some great cocktails. Let's just get through the cocktails and everything else you got here. Let's start with this first cocktail over to our right here.
Absolutely.
Screen left.
Absolutely. That's called a paper plane. You've got a whiskey collection that is in the range of 1,000 different labels. As you said, the largest in North America. You're going to make a lot of whiskey cocktails. Doesn't mean they can't do a vodka soda if you want it, but a lot of whiskey cocktails. Paper plane's a classic. Bitters, whiskey, lemon juice. Amazing.
Nice.
Old fashioned. Why do you mess with the classics sometimes?
You don't.
You know? And
Yeah,
so you
very
make a
good.
classic old fashioned, you put it in a glass with a huge ice cube that melts slower, and you don't dilute the drink. And of course, this one's a little bit fun. It's called the penicillin. Not that any of us are sick, but whatever, we have a little fun with it, the third one. And that one's got a little bit of honey ginger syrup, whiskey, Aperol, and a Moro Nonino, which is beautiful, almost nutty characteristic to it. So 3 very different cocktails, but a place like this has a great beer program as well, and so we thought we'd throw in a little beer there for you.
But keeping with the theme of this restaurant, you've got Whiskey Wednesdays. Tell us what people can expect when they come for that.
Absolutely. Well, they put together a program where every single Wednesday they want to give people an opportunity to learn more about whiskey.
Right.
So every single Wednesday there are whiskey cocktails on feature. There are amazing flights. They have a whiskey ambassador called Caitlin. She's put together a range of flights that start, frankly, at $25 all the way up to $300.
Wow.
Because there are bottles of whiskey here you just can't find.
Right.
And then a whiskey club is being developed where you eventually can have your own whiskey on in a locker here, and away you go.
We should also mention when we work with you, wine cannot be left out of the discussion. And this
Jim?
being no case, yes, no, I follow this guy's wine suggestions often. You've been in the wine world off and on over the last, I'm going to say 30 years.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about some of the wonderful wines they have here at Sky Avenue.
Yeah, well, not everyone's going to drink whiskey throughout the entire meal. So the idea is to have an ever-evolving and developing wine program. There's a couple of different options. I mean, there's 2 great wines there, one from Italy, one from BC. So we celebrate world cuisine as a mosaic of modern Canadian cuisine. We're going to do the same thing with the wine program, and we'll even see some wine dinners and whiskey dinners come out of that as a result.
Oh, wonderful. Well, we're going to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we are. Just sticking with the wine, though, how often are places changing up the wines? It's great to see some BC wines always, but is a place like here at Sky, are they seasonal? Are they what are they doing with the wines?
Well, you know, a great food program and a great wine program are both alive and they're constantly evolving.
Right.
So a rep will, for instance, come in, meet the beverage manager, they'll taste it and say, oh, this is something that completely fits into our program, something that I need at the moment, and something that lines up with what Chef Valerio is doing. So it's a constantly evolving thing. It's rather than, this is our wine list for the year, and it keeps it fresh for the staff as well.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to check out some of the great food here.
That's right.
With Chef.
Yes, well, he is a very passionate guy, as you'll see in a minute.
Well, we are going to move from the lounge into the restaurant to check out some great food with Chef Richard, of course, will be back later in the show to wrap things up here at Sky Avenue Kitchen and Lounge. You don't have a drink.
Well, I guess I have to get one.
Okay, never
Of
too
course.
far away.
Yeah.
Okay, cheers, Richard. Cheers.
Thanks for trying.
Well, we hope you're enjoying this episode of Our City Tonight, taking a little break here in the Cabana Lounge at Hydra Restaurant to remind you, as we always like to do, to check out one of our dear partners, and they are Lita.
The Richmond Sentinel, where you can find news and interesting interviews with all kinds of people, including celebrities.
That's right. You can also find a couple of the columns that we do and a lot of stuff connected with Our City Tonight. You can also find them online, of course, print the old-fashioned way, but you can also find them online. The website is richmondsentinel.ca. Thanks to them, and thank you for watching. What you're looking at is part of what we like to capture each year at the Whistler Film Festival. Interviews on the red carpet, great parties, and of course seeing great films. Now, often we'll keep some of these interviews that we do with actors or directors, and we'll hang on to those interviews until the films they're in or directed have come out. That's the case with this next actress interview. We interviewed her back at the Whistler Film Festival in late 2022. We held on to this interview because the movie has finally come out, a movie that Lita and I both loved. It's called Exile. She is an award-winning, Leo Award-winning actress and seems to move seamlessly between TV and film with great projects. She's in that category, Lita, on our show. I think she's like a 4 or 5 timer.
She is. She gets the blazer.
She gets the blazer. Camille Sullivan joins us here at the Whistler Film Festival to talk about her new movie, Exile. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Oh,
Great to have you.
So excited. We so love the film, and congratulations, world premiere here at Whistler Film Fest. I have to say, I am loving you in these thrillers. I have to say, I watched you in Hunter x Hunter. You were truly amazing, and Exile just absolutely continues to be that amazing thing. How do you prepare for these thriller movies?
I love doing the thrillers too. I'll say before I answer that question that I started to get into doing more horror, and I have another one coming up later in the year, and I love it so much. It's so much fun. It's like drama to the nth degree, you know what I mean? So how do I prepare? Well, I usually, for any movie, I sort of prepare the same way. I try to figure out what's my character's worldview. So then that can affect the decisions in terms of what do I want, how do I go about getting what I want. And so for Exile, I think her worldview could sort of be summed up in like, no one is coming to save me.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I want my life, it's only me. I gotta grab it.
Yeah, strong and vulnerable. I loved it.
And you know, audiences get more and more intelligent with films. But I gotta say, I think Lita would agree with me. You just banged her arm. I mean, it's a talented actress, banging her arm, microphone control.
The table.
I was right in the middle of a great question.
Go ahead.
This is staying in the interview, by the way.
Yeah. Love you so much.
Yes, you can tell she's a regular. But this movie, I gotta say, and we'll get you to talk a little bit about the plot, but this movie kept Lita and I guessing till the very end, and that is not as common as people would think when it comes to plots, because often you'll say, oh, I see this coming. I know what's happening. We didn't.
Good.
Talk a bit
I
about
agree.
the journey you go on, and Adam Beach, who plays your estranged husband.
Well, yeah, it is a journey. And then when I was watching it the other day, the premiere, I couldn't believe it. Like, I know what happens, obviously, but then I kept thinking, like, wow, there's still so much more. Like, you don't even know. This just happened, and you think, oh, it's gonna go like this, and then it goes a whole nother way, and then it swings back. Because it's a psychological thriller, so much of it, is it real? Is it in his head? Is he delusional? Am I delusional? Because I do some pretty crazy things as well. I make some interesting choices.
Yes.
So yeah, I start with that worldview. I figure out what is this person, what do they need to live? What do they need to be happy? And then how do they think they'll get it? And then throw myself in as much as I can.
Yeah, you have to mention also that one of the stars of the show really is the backdrop, Powell River.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Gorgeous BC. How was it? Was it cold? Oh, yes.
But you couldn't do this movie in the summertime. It needed to have that desolate, isolated look.
yes.
Of it,
Oh,
right?
and we got it. There was an atmospheric river. There was like torrential winds. It was for real. And Sterling Bancroft, our DP, he's so good, and it looks so beautiful. I thought it was incredible.
We should mention Adam Beach, who
Yes.
puts in a great performance. Also a great supporting cast. And again, as Lita said, the environment, we have to say, is one of the cast members in this film.
Oh, and we love Gary Chalk too. That must have been fun.
Gary Chalk
Yeah.
has my favorite line in the whole movie, and it's a curse. So I'm gonna say it anyway, and you guys don't have to use it. Christ. This is my favorite line in the whole movie.
I'm hoping our talented editor-director Mark can bleep that up. Banging your arm, microphone, that's just the language. It's a great cast, and there are characters in the film that could easily slip into cliche, but don't. Supporting cast meaning, but hey, it's great to have you here. We should mention you're in that club, as we mentioned off the beginning. You were in, I think, if not the first, the second version online of our show back in 2015 when it was like a 7 or 8 minute online show, and you were on the first TV version in 2016.
Well, I'm very honored, and you still keep having me back. I cursed, I banged my arm.
This might be your last time. I mean, you broke a couple rules there, swearing.
Go out.
Well, we want to thank you so much, Camille Sullivan at the Whistler Film Fest for the world premiere of Exile. Awesome
Thank you
film.
so much. Thank you so much.
Well, we are now with Chef Valerio.
Hi.
And going to enjoy this amazing food, but we want to learn a little bit about it first. So you're from Rome.
Yes.
But what is the inspiration for the dishes here at Sky?
At Sky, we designed a menu actually that we can serve every type of craving in food. From our double fermented pizza dough, which is fermented from 48 to 72 hours to guarantee best digestibility. This pizza in specific is our prosciutto and burrata.
Right.
We import our burrata from Puglia, from Italy, every 2 weeks. So it goes on a plane, actually gets here. And that's prosciutto crudo, 24 months aged. Top it up with some red pesto. Then we have our ricotta. Our ricotta, which is our vegan ricotta, is something that is extremely unique because that doesn't exist anywhere. We actually do this ricotta daily, handmade every single day.
Oh, my.
We take the almonds, we actually extract the milk from the almonds, we do a double filtration. We turn the almond milk into a curdled cheese, and we mold every single day, so it takes about 48 hours. And then it's plated on this beautiful olive wooden board from Italy. It's served with a cherry tomato slow roasted salad and sourdough bread.
So this is lactose-free friendly.
Absolutely, yes.
Oh, nice.
It's
Well,
actually
there you
vegan
go,
at this point.
Lita. Congrats. Okay.
Okay, I'm thinking carpaccio. Let's talk about
Yes,
that.
carpaccio, we use a very special beef, which is the American Wagyu Snake River from Idaho, US.
Right.
Very well-known farm in the States. And it's the eye round in specific. We sear the beef, then we slice it very thinly, and we serve it with extra virgin olive oil from Sicily, called Planeta, from the Planeta winery. There is aged pecorino toscano, 18 months, a baby arugula, balsamic vinegar, and then I did this kind of truffle grissini, so the very crunchy, buttery with some aroma of truffle. And that's how you're supposed to take one piece and then wrap it with the beef.
Oh, wow.
And enjoy
Are you
it.
drooling?
And it's so close. I'm trying to be
He's got
professional
no
here.
fork
Yes, no
here.
fork here. Richard and the rest of the crew don't let forks go anywhere.
Okay.
We're going to talk about this, but I'm going to get to that burger in a second.
Yes.
But let's talk about this first.
So that's our cocktail, item. It's our flatbread marinara. Very simple, just to get a couple of cocktails, couple of, munching a little bit here and there. Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
So that's perfect for our cocktail hour, basically.
Very nice.
Perfect.
We're
going to go to the pasta first, and
okay.
then
I
Yes.
can't keep my focus off that burger, actually. But the pasta way out there. Yes.
So
okay.
this is my own recipe, the cacio e pepe, originally, traditionally from Rome. If you guys been in Rome, you know
Many
what it is.
times, yeah.
So this is actually a very family recipe that I've been using for many years at this point. And we serve it with a spaghetti alla chitarra. So we have the actual guitar, which is a wooden pasta maker that we imported from Italy.
Right.
We do the sheet of the pasta that we roll into this guitar, and then all the spaghetti comes off, and it's done every day. And this is our lunch feature at Sky.
I'm thinking you must have a staff of 500 people back there.
About 32. All trained.
Let's get to this burger, because it is part of what you guys are really focusing on about getting people in here. The express lunch.
Yes.
Richard was telling us a couple weeks ago about this burger. Tell our viewers what
So this
is
burger
all
is
about.
very special to me because it's what I will cook at home for my family, ideally.
Lucky family.
Lucky family,
wow.
yes. So this is from Prairie Ranch, Alberta. I use the shoulder of the cow. I built a special protocol with Vancouver Coastal Health about 4 years ago, which was approved. And this specific beef, you can order it however you want it cooked. You can have a blue, rare, medium rare,
well
medium. There's no lettuce and tomato. I call them contaminators, to be honest. So it's just the main character here is the beef. So you can really feel the essence of that beef, nice and pure. It comes with melted fontina cheese, 2 types of onions. One is caramelized, reduced with the red wine for a few hours, and the other one is a crunchy flour butter onion. And there is, in both sides, there is a truffle aioli. It's very simple, it's very juicy, and this is one of our signature burgers.
Oh, that is.
Yeah, it looks pretty spectacular. And you also wanted to include a really nicely put together dessert.
Yes, this is my favorite. It's called the Rocher Tart. I'm a big fan of Ferrero Rocher. I love it.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do something very Ferrero Rocher, something that we eat since we're kids, right? So this is a vanilla tart shell with chocolate ganache. There is hazelnut and almond praline. There is a chocolate mousse, raspberry gel, and it's all garnished with the raspberry gelato. Very nice, refreshing tart, but very delicate at the same time.
That's amazing.
Oh, we're going to dig into this food, but we're going to come back a little later in the show. Richard's going to rejoin us here at Sky, and we're going to talk about some other things you need to know about this great location here in Surrey. And Richard will probably mention this later, but we are right like 100 feet from SkyTrain, which is always good. You don't have to worry about driving with our traffic in the city. So thank you, Chef.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be back here to wrap up things at the end of the show in just a little bit.
This segment is sponsored by the Richmond Sentinel, providing news, entertainment, and human interest stories in print and online.
Recreating the legendary and undisputed Queen of Rock at the height of her long career. Capturing the very essence of Tina Turner, this is Samira, Truly Tina.
What you're watching is Samira, who's truly Tina, and she performs an electrifying live tribute to the 80s Tina Turner, and who was at the peak of her career back in the 80s. Samira, Truly Tina, brings the signature legs, the body, the voice, the provocative costumes, and of course the endless energy that made Tina Turner the reigning queen of rock and roll. We welcome to our city tonight, Samira. So great to have you on.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my God, you have had such an exciting career. I have to say, I was so privileged to actually see one of your shows, and I've known you for many years. You've got a lot to talk about. I wish we had like an hour with you. Let's just jump right in. How did you become a celebrity impersonator, and how did you choose Tina?
Well, I've always loved to sing and dance since I was a child. I was at a house party many decades ago, and I'm dancing, and this fellow comes up and he says, "You dance like Tina Turner." I didn't know who she was, but a couple of days later, the video to What's Love, because that was her big comeback, and I thought, oh, okay, that's who she is. And then we were downtown, I was a designated driver. I don't drink, so I just want to dance, and they had this rock star singing contest, and I thought, I'm going in. Who am I going to be? And I thought, oh, I'll be this Tina Turner woman. So I went in, I won. And then this gentleman from, at that time it was called BCTV News, wanted to put me on the news because she was coming to town. This is in '85 now.
Wow.
To promote her private dancer tour. So I couldn't tell my mom, like I was born in the Middle East, and it's just a culture thing. Like I wasn't raised with anybody wearing a hijab or anything like that, but it's just a respect thing. So I didn't tell my mom, and it was harmless. They didn't have karaoke back then. So they taped me singing along with What's Love, and then they spoke to me. It was actually Deborah Hope and Jim Hart. So it's just a quick little, maybe 1 minute clip, and I came home, my mom saw it anyways, and that was the end of the show. So I kind of stopped. And then I fell into it again in the 90s, and same thing happened. I was in the newspaper. Now I was a fan straddling the chair. And then I stopped, and then I started again about 2000.
Okay, well, you've had huge success. I mean, you're well known in Las Vegas. You've traveled around the world: Amsterdam, Australia, China, Guam, Mexico. I could name and name and name. And you were one of the most sought after Tina Turner impersonators. You have some interesting similarities to Tina Turner.
Yeah, I didn't realize Tina believes in reincarnation. So she believes she was the Queen Hatshepsut, the Queen of Egypt. So me being Egyptian, I lived in Alexandria. My dad's Egyptian and my mom's Lebanese. So I thought that was kind of all the things you could be. And one of her songs one of my favorite songs is called I Might Have Been Queen. And it's about that reincarnation. Oh, it's a great song.
Interesting.
We're 2 days apart in birthdays. We're both short. She's 5'4". I used to be 5'2". I think I shrunk.
You wear and I know we're going to show this. You dance in the highest heels I've ever seen, and just fluid.
I started young.
Yeah.
Used to wear spiked clogs in grade 9, so I got a head start.
Unbelievable. Well, you've had a lot of highlights. Can you name a couple highlights of your impersonator career?
Well, for sure, I was more than honored and very scared to perform at Tina's hometown of Nutbush. I believe it was 2014. They made a museum out of her elementary school, and she donated all her memorabilia and costumes. And so that was the first ever, they call it Heritage Days. They just had it actually last weekend in Nutbush, Tennessee, and that's the only song Tina wrote, by the way. She only wrote one song.
That one.
And I have to say, I've sang in front of all different types of audiences and so on, but to sing for people that actually lived, went to school with her, that was scary. You can't fool those. You can't fool those people, right?
No, definitely not. Well, it must have been sad for you, Tina passing this, but there was a little bit of a light to that for you as well, because it geared you back into doing this, what you're so good at. Tell us what the next chapter for Samira Truly Tina is.
I thought I was done, because I worked in the US. Did that for a while, and I thought I'm kind of done, and then once she passed, people started saying, you gotta do her some justice and so on. So had a lot of fun. I got to perform with Reckless. They hired me to come out and sing the duet. So they're a Bryan Adams tribute. Okay. So they hired me to come out on Canada Day in Delta and sing It's Only Love, and I thought, I think I can, do this.
Good.
So,
Good.
And then I'm going to be working with a gentleman named Terry Rabel, who does a Joe Cocker, and the show's called Feeling All Right. And of course, Joe Cocker opened for Tina. They toured together in 2000. So.
Terrific. Oh, this is perfect.
Yeah,
It's perfect marriage.
Yeah.
Well, good. So people can find out more about your possible tours. Where can they find more information?
TrulyTina.com. I have to update that.
Okay, that's okay.
You can email me, trulytina@gmail.com.
Okay, excellent. So I know a lot of people are going to want to see. I highly recommend this show.
Thank you so
It
much.
is so brilliant. You are wonderful. You got a lot of great stories. We'll have to get you back on. But we have today Samira, who is Truly Tina. Again, find out more information at trulytina.com.
That's right.
And good luck with this
Thank
next
you so
chapter.
much. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome.
All right.
This segment was sponsored by the Richmond Sentinel, providing news, entertainment, and human interest stories in print and online.
Sponsorship and other promotional considerations provided by Bosa Foods, authentic Italian, with 2 locations to serve you better. More information, go to bosafoods.com. Well, back here to wrap up the show where we began the show at Sky Avenue Kitchen and Lounge. Richard back to join us to wrap things up. And this is really all the food that's left. They've actually brought more food out and we've eaten that. But Richard, we got to talk about a few things before we say goodbye.
Lots of exciting things happening here. You know, their proximity to the SkyTrain here in Central City is really amazing.
It is a baseball's throw.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, you know, they've done things like the express lunch where you get in for a really quick, good value lunch, cocktail hour, of course, but a lot more offerings than that.
And you're doing some amazing dinners. Give us a little peek into that.
Yeah, you know, this is the more casual approach, the everyday thing, but things like a Louis XIII dinner, one of the best cognacs in the world. They're doing 2 back-to-back dinners that are really phenomenal. And this is a place that plans on putting on a lot of really elegant wine dinners and something that doesn't exist out here, so people can enjoy it without having to get on the SkyTrain.
Yeah, and I noticed as we were filming, had a couple guys in watching a sporting event in the lounge, so you do offer a lot of everything. It's not a sports bar, but you certainly, if somebody wants to come and watch a game or something, you've got that where they can sit at the bar, right?
Yeah, you know, the trick with hospitality nowadays is don't be pretentious. You want to come in and enjoy yourself, great. So this is a bit more casual fare, but as you learn talking to Valerio, the seriousness with which he approaches his food is phenomenal, and the sourcing is very deliberate and very well thought out. This is a restaurant that's brand new in an incredibly developing area that has a lot of potential for the future.
We, as we sit off the top with you, we have not been out here filming a restaurant segment, I think about 4 or 5 years, right?
Probably.
Yeah. So
Way
it's-
too long.
Yeah, but just you've got so much around you here. I'm astounded at the amount of development in this area.
Yeah, it surprises me when I first came out here how big the little community is that's here.
Yeah.
But I think it's a sign that the timing for Sky Avenue Kitchen and Lounge was right, and what they're doing seems to be something spectacular. So I think it's one to watch for.
Yeah, and as I said, if you're looking at the SkyTrain, Central City. Central City, thank you. I think one of the last SkyTrain stops on the old Expo line, but you're right by it. So no reason to drive, and if you're in the neighborhood, come check this place out. Richard, thank you again. 6th time on the show in our 10-year history. It's great to see you again.
Always a pleasure to see you both.
He is our restaurant ambassador, Richard Goodine, and I'm Jim Gordon.
And I'm Lita Leapins.
We will see you on the next edition of Our City Tonight.
Wow, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Closed captioning and other promotional considerations provided by Hamilton High Street Senior Residence, Richmond's newest senior living community. Don't forget to check out past episodes and individual interviews, all on the Our City Tonight YouTube channel. The Richmond Sentinel, providing news, entertainment, and human interest stories in print and online. While in Whistler, Our City Tonight stayed at the Blackcomb Lodge, serving guests in the heart of the village since 1980.